All right, so let's take a look at our last solution. I like this solution a lot because it's really simple to understand. And I just thought it was a little bit of a fun way to solve the problem. And as I said, this kind of uses a sliding window approach. Not completely, because it doesn't really necessarily slide the same way. It doesn't gain in size, which is, not really as much sliding. But sliding window and two-pointer are kind of the same thing. They're not the same thing, but they have similar ideas. Either way, you're going to have a start and an end type pointer. And in our actual solution, I'm not going to create variables called start and end, but just know that these are going to be our start and end. And our start and our end are actually going to start right next to each other. So right here, our start value is going to be start, and then our second value in the array is going to be end. So 0 index is start, and index 1 is going to be the end. So right now, our start is 3, and our end is 4. Let's take a look at our steps. So our step for step 1 is check if end is greater than start. And that's it. And then if it is, then we're just going to return end. And the only reason this works is because this is a sorted rotated array. If it was not the case, this would not work. This wouldn't work at all. This wouldn't make any sense. But because we know that at some point our next value is going to drop off and be our smaller value, that's why this solution works as well. So currently our start value, as I said, is 3, and our next value is 4. And all we have to do is check, is end less than start? It's not. So we just, once again, move on over. So start is now at the 4, end is now at the 5, 4, and 5. And then let's check again. Is start greater than or less than end? Okay, start is less than end, so we're going to move over again. We know that that's not our answer. Now we're at our last bit. Is end less than start? Yes, end is less than start. So we know, and we can put these here as well because this is our last value. We know that because of that, we're going to return end. So return our end value, which is 1. And once again, we get our answer, and we're done. So lastly, we're going to take a look at the sliding window approach, and I decided to include this solution because I saw another user do this one. I'm not gonna lie, I saw someone else do this, and I didn't even think about it this way, and I just thought it was a fun way to think about the problem. Once again, this is an O of n time, so this isn't the way that you should solve it necessarily, but I just liked this way of thinking about it. So what we're gonna do is in this case, we're actually not gonna create any variables. We don't really need to do that. And this solution, crazy enough, is only gonna be 4 lines of code. And once again, this only works for a sorted array or a rotated array. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a loop for num in range len nums -1. And you can use enumerate or some other different ways to do this as well, but I like to use range len array -1, especially for beginners because it's really easy to understand. Next, we're going to compare the first index value with the next index value. And this is just a really fun line right here. It's going to be num plus 1 if it's less than nums and then the current num. And all that's doing is, as I showed in the demonstration, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, this value right here is going to be this 2, and this value right here is going to be this 1, and we're just comparing those two together to see which one is smaller. And after that, once we find that our nums plus 1 is the smaller number, we're just going to return it. And that's it. Then we just return nums 0 if that didn't work. And that completes that edge case that I talked about earlier in the case that there's only one value in this array. So this return nums 0 is just to handle the edge case. But this is where this would complete our solution. But this return statement is the one that will find the minimum value. And just like before, we can take our print statement and let's check our answer. And same as before. So once again, we get all the correct answers using this solution. That's all I have for today. I hope you really like those solutions. I had a really good time coding those up for you. If you have any other questions or need any other help, please let me know in the comments and I will help you out. That wraps up this video. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to continue to be making more on this Blind 75 series. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and keep on coding.